Are you ready to take action to attain the lifestyle of your dreams?
It's a great way to make a lot of money fast.
Hey, welcome back to the Clever Investor Show. I'm your lucky host, Cody Sperber, the OG Clever Investor. In today's episode here in the studio, we got a superstar real estate agent / investor, a good friend of mine, somebody I have been personally working with since the very beginning, and now the student has become the master. We got the amazing Austin Zaback in the studio. Austin, welcome to the Clever Investor Show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man. It is an honor and a pleasure, and I'm excited to drop a bunch of value for everybody listening. Yeah,
You're going to drop some bombs?
I hope
I'm not
you
Brad
do too.
Lee, but I wish if I had that little boom.
Yeah, Brad Lee. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I appreciate you having me on there, brother. It means the world to me. Yeah.
Full circle.
It'll be a lot of fun. Dude, we were just talking before the show, 10 years.
Yeah. So Austin, for those that don't know Austin, he is the founder and or co-founder, I would say. You do have a partner in a company called One Roof. It's a very large wholesaling business here in Scottsdale, Arizona. How many deals a month are you guys up to right now?
We do about 10 to 15 a week. So we do about 50. We close 50 wholesale deals a month.
Boom.
Yeah.
Not many people are doing it at that scale, especially in 2024. I mean, the fact that you were able to do that, and you did it in a really cool, unique way. I want to kind of unpack how you got to that point, because when I first met you, 2014, you already had some sales skills. You were very ambitious. You are a good-looking dude. You got perfect hair, all that. You know, you had the package, but you were trying to figure out, okay, how do I make money in real estate? Now, at the time, were you a licensed agent?
No, I became an agent in 2015.
Got it. So when you were just like, hey, how do I wholesale and flip a house?
Yeah, I wanted to learn. Well, I saw one of your ads. I was on Facebook back in the day, and I saw this dude standing in front of, I think it was Chase or Wells Fargo, I can't remember. And you had the check, with the Lambo. And I was like, dude, no money down real estate investing. Like, I want to get into that, Then I looked up Clever Investor right on the internet, and you popped up, and that's how I got in.
Boom. And you cut a check.
I did.
You paid me $10,000.
And I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I probably only had 15 in my
You stole $10,000 and you gave it to me.
Exactly. Because I was.
And look at what happened to you now. See, wasn't that the best idea of your life? Well, it really was. Maybe second best, because his girl is actually sitting in here too. So I think that was the best move of your life.
For sure, yeah. But no, it really was. I was telling Mojay this morning, I was like, really, had it not been for that ad and had it not been for Clever Investor, like I would have never met all the people that I met. I would have never met you. I would have never gotten into this circle. I mean, like I literally wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I just, man, I'm so grateful for that opportunity,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's cool now, and you're doing it too. When you mentor somebody new and they're on their journey, you never know how, look, you line up 100 people, they all say they want to get real estate rich. 99 bow out. The one makes it, right? You're the one. You're the one. You made it. And in your world, you're going to have the one who's going to make it. And they're going to be telling the story 5-10 years down the road about you and how you played a part. And I always I'm like, I appreciate the credit. And I did play a role, but you showed up. You put in the work. You cut that check. It's scary to cut a $10,000 check when you don't have it. It's scary too. And I've watched your journey from trying different things, trying to like figure out your voice and your brand and what's your role in the world, and partnering with different people and having things fail miserably, and then some things go right, and then all of a sudden they move the cheese and then the world falls apart on you and you had to reinvent yourself over and over. Now, I was just telling you out in our courtyard just how proud of you I am for the type of man you've become. Not that I don't give a shit about your 50 deals. Like, I think that's great. Like, but you became a leader in the space, and you're still leading.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, it means the world coming from you.
All right, so let's take a step back. Yeah. First off, how do you even get to, most people can't wrap their head around 5 deals a month, let alone 50. How many people are on your current team?
So on our wholesale team, we have probably 25 people on the team right now, give or take, maybe 20, maybe two more or two less.
And are all of them licensed agents? Or some of them not licensed?
I would say 50-50, yeah. So half of them are non-licensed, and they're amazing, and the other half are. And for no particular reason, really, right? Like, it just so happens that, every now and then we'll have an agent, because we own a big retail team too, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But every so often we'll have an agent who got their license to be an agent, right? Like to do the open houses and do all that. and then they change their mind. They come into the office and they see, because we kind of have like a wholesale area in the office, and then you kind of have like a retail area, and then the other things that we do. And every now and then, one of the licensed people will see those people, and they're like, I want to do that,
It's boring over here. You guys are all stuffy over here. I'm going over where they're ringing the bell and getting excited and making profits.
Yeah, so that's why half of them are licensed and half aren't. And we've thought before about making everybody get their license. There, it gets complicated now that we're the number one retail team in Arizona now, right? We have 150 agents on our team. We'll do $500 million a year in production on the retail side. In 2024, we'll do $1 billion in 25. And, it becomes difficult because now the Department of Real Estate knows, if they didn't know who we were before, they know who we are now, and we've made enemies along the way, not as a result of us doing anything wrong, but people don't want to see you do that, right? And wholesaling can be tricky because in Arizona, we have to run things through the brokerage because I'm licensed and we run a big team. And so I've thought, before about, should everybody have their license in that department? Should they not, and who knows? We're 50-50 right now.
Yeah, and most of you guys know what wholesaling is that listen to this show, but if you happen to be brand new, just quickly explain flipping a contract.
Yeah, exactly what you just said, right? So wholesaling really, and you, I think, explained it the best a long time ago. I still remember the animation that you had. It was like an animated little thing, right? But you're putting a deal under contract, right? Where you're the buyer technically with a seller. Now, obviously you could go through an agent or another wholesaler, but to keep it simple, you're putting it under contract with a homeowner, you're the buyer, and then you're just taking that contract and you're just essentially selling the contract, right? If you want to keep it really simple, you're assigning the contract, obviously, but you're selling that contract for a profit to a cash buyer. Now obviously we know that would be done via either an assignment contract or a double close. You might actually have another contract with that end buyer, but you're just, like you said, you're flipping the contract for a profit.
So the asset, and this is the aha moment a lot of new people have. The asset isn't the house, because we're never actually going to buy the house. Our intention is to get a good deal, put a house under contract, and then flip the paperwork over to somebody else that actually wants to take down the house and rehab it or own it as a rental.
Exactly.
And so we're deal finders. We're the people that put in all the work to serve up good deals to people that are looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
That actually have cash that want to close.
Yep.
And so when you first started, it was just you, and you learned this technique, this wholesaling technique, and you got really damn good at it. In a very, what would you say your first year, how long did it take for you to get your first deal?
It took me 9 months to get my first deal. And that was partially because I was, 2014, I was coming out of a job, right? Like I had been an entrepreneur, but then I ended up in like the HVAC industry at that time. I was like 18, dude. I was 17 or 18 years oold. And I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do with my life at the time. I had come from like network marketing and stuff. I dabbled in that and obviously owned the pool company when I was a kid. But when it took me 9 months because I was screwing around. I paid obviously to get mentored, right? And I was in the world, but I didn't know what I wanted, right? And so, but once I got that first deal, like I remember I was telling somebody yesterday on a Zoom call, it clicked. And I think, and I can't remember exactly, but from the first to the second deal, it would only took like another 2 weeks. Like from that, it took 9 months to get number one and then like 2 weeks to get number two. Yeah.
Yeah, it became real.
It became real.
And you got serious.
Dude, there's nothing like going to the title company and picking up the check. I remember the title company's like, do you want us to mail it to you? I'm like, hell no, I'm driving there right now. Like I want it today, right? And I picked up the check. And I remember, I think back then I even sent, it was either you or Torsten or Josiah, somebody, I sent a photo, and I'm like, dude, this is like on another level, right? And that was the day my life changed forever.
Yep. And you're officially a wholesaler. And
Yep.
you were out there doing it, and you got to six figures pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you were, I remember I just kept seeing you over and over. And at the time, even though I was mentoring you or involved in your mentorship, I wasn't personally talking to you every single day. You were working with my team. Mm-hmm. But you were making so much noise that I had to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite students, by the way. The ones that are just like so relentless and so, focused and aggressive with like, hey, you're going to pay attention to me through me winning. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to get to know me. And you just kept showing up. And I thought that was really cool. What's the average age of somebody on your current wholesaling team?
They're young. I would say the average age is probably 25 right now. We have a couple of 30-year-olds. I mean, nobody really.
Those old guys.
Yeah.
Are those one you keep in the corner?
So the retail team, the average age is obviously quite a bit higher, right? But even the retail team, we average the younger demographic for sure. We definitely have older people on our team they kill it and they have a young like personality, right? But yeah, average age is young, dude.
I wanted to bring that up for a reason. You know, it's wholesaling is kind of a young man's game. You know, you got to have a lot of youthful energy. You got to be really consistent and aggressive. You got to be willing to, like you said, you fought for 9 months. I fought for 9 months.
Did you really? Was it 9?
9.
Wow.
Well, 9 months until I quit. You know,
I remember that. Yeah.
And then 4 months of doing bookkeeping and other stuff, and then I got back in, and once Lyle was in my life, and I had a real mentor, I was able to get a deal. So it's it takes a lot of that youthful energy to crack the code,
lot, dude,
you know.
yeah.
And we have old people that do wholesaling, but I tell the older you are, the faster I'm going to tell you is like, we got to get you out of wholesaling.
Yep. Get in and get out.
Get in and get out.
Yeah.
Like, let's make some quick cash and let's get out. And right now in 2024, like the new kick I'm on is flipping commercial.
Which is, you were telling me about that.
Yeah. And if you're older and you're like, I want to get into wholesaling, I'd immediately say, awesome. Love that. We're not going to do that in residential. We're going to do that in commercial for 2 reasons. One, I want to teach you the commercial business. And that's where my heart is right now. That's where I should have been focused on for the last, 15 years, but I was too stuck in residential to get out of it. And through owning commercial real estate, that's where real freedom is. It's not through owning residential.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get there over a long period of time, but I have friends that own 50 houses.
Yeah.
That aren't free. And it took them their whole career to get to 50 houses.
I bet. Yeah. Well, and you can make way more money way quicker in commercial.
I have friends that own 2 commercial buildings and they're free.
Look at Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
He's getting into the commercial game though, right? You just interviewed the guy.
He's a whole nother level.
He just bought the building right across. Literally, there's our office. And then if I stand in my office and look across Scottsdale Road, it's Grant's building that he bought.
Do you remember when I took you to meet Grant? The first time?
I remember. I think I do actually. Yeah.
I got a picture. I saw it in my phone the other day.
Yeah. I looked a lot different. I think I still have that on my IG way back in the day.
Yeah.
My hair was like way longer. Yeah. I remember.
That was amazing. Grant's a character. Okay. So right now, your world, how are you guys getting deals?
So right now in the wholesaling world, we and this will be really valuable to people, right? We have different departments. And now remember, you said a little while ago, I've screwed this thing up more times than I can even count, right? I mean, I've built and failed and rebuilt the wholesaling company probably 15 times in the last.
And one of them with me.
And one of them with you, right?
Yeah, we had a 2-3 year sprint?
We did, yeah.
Yeah,
I've redone
Austin was my actual physical partner. Like he got so good that I was like, let's just partner and do a bunch of wholesale deals together. And that ran its course for about 3 years. And we could tell that story.
Yeah, we could. But and so anyways, after screwing it up a million times, where we're at today, and I'm sure, and if you ask me again in 5 years, it'll be different, right? But we have different departments. So we have everybody on our team, they specialize in one method, right? So like, for example, we have a direct to seller department. We have a co-wholesaling department. We call it the supplier department. We have a agent department, so that we're just sourcing deals from agents. And then we have our dispositions department. So all they do is sell deals. And those are really our 4 main departments when it comes to wholesaling. And I could give you the percentages of how it all breaks down, but they're all probably pretty equal at the end of the day. The difference would be that DTS, I'll point out, is the average clip size will be significantly larger, but you'll do less deals, the way that we have it set up at least, right? Compared to suppliers and agents.
Okay. Wow. There's a lot going on there. What would you say your number one best source is? Is there a consistent one that just dominates, or is it kind of like
agents and suppliers are neck and neck? So we probably do 15 or 20 deals a month from agents bringing us deals. And then
now, are these pre-listings, expired listings, pocket list? Like, what are these?
Yeah. So the agent, I would say 75% are off-market pocket listing. My friend, I know somebody, right? The agent just happens to know somebody, might be family member, friend, whatever. Maybe the other 20 to 25% of the agent portion in particular would be on market, where like, we have somebody on our team just making offers on the market all day, every day. We make 10, 15 offers a day on the market, right? And so that would be how that would break down. And then obviously suppliers are bringing us typically their direct to seller deals. So we're moving their deal who's direct to seller, but we have a bigger buyer list and we have a bigger we have 7 people on our dispositions team full time, right? So each person's goal on the dispo team is to sell a deal a day. So if you have 7 people hypothetically selling a deal a day, well, you're selling quite a few deals in a month, right?
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. And what states are you focused on?
We're all over right now. I would say our biggest market right now, our markets would be Florida, Indianapolis, Alabama, Atlanta, Arizona, and then maybe like Texas, California would be number one.
Wow.
Yeah. We do North Carolina. We do, we're really all over, but obviously we're not in Illinois, we're not in Alaska, right? We're not in Hawaii, there's probably 20 or so states. We're not in Maine, right? Rhode Island. I think, we have to be somewhere where there's enough population to do deals.
Yeah. Your, tools and tech stack and things that you use to support your business.
Yeah.
How like if I came into your business right now and we were just hanging out, would you be like, oh, I use this software and I use this lead gen tool and I use this skip tracing tool? Like kind of what does your framework look like?
So our CRM is Close. I'm sure you're familiar with Close. We use that in our wholesaling company. We also use it for our education company now too. Very expensive. I would not recommend that people use Close actually probably ever, to be completely honest with you.
Big real estate teams use that.
Yeah, big real estate teams. But just for our wholesale company alone, that CRM is probably $8,000 or $9,000 a month, right? Just for that, not including the retail company or the education or anything. So very expensive. You don't need that unless you're doing the type of volume outreach and inbound and task management and stuff that we're doing. So that's what we use there. And then I recommend a different one, just like go high level, to other people, right?
Yeah.
Obviously we use Podio, right? So Podio really for us is just a track the progress of the deal. So do we have earnest money in on the deal? How much profit are we going to make? Keep track of the financials, stuff like that, right?
So so what does Close specifically do for you?
So Close is really where all the guys are working out of every day. So they're calling out of Close, they're receiving calls from Close, they're texting out of Close, they're getting texts in Close. They are making smart views. So if you're familiar with the platform, you can make a smart view. You can task yourself different things that you have to do throughout the day or a week or month or whatever. It's essentially just a very high level CRM. And really, Close was designed, and again, I'm not the tech guy. I've got people who do a lot of this, but Close was designed for big companies. Which is why obviously it costs so much money, Well,
I was just trying to then bridge the gap between them working over in that system and then all of a sudden jumping over to Podio.
Yeah. Yeah, for us, we just built it that way. You could do it any type of way. We also have just a spreadsheet with all of the deals that we close, and we for us, we have to track and we can talk about this, but over the years, one of the biggest things that we've had to change a million times is how much do you pay your people, right? How do you keep people? How do you pay people? Do you pay them a salary? Do you not pay them a salary? How much commission do you pay them? Are there different tiers? And we've changed this a million times, So now we have a tiered system. AC and Dispo are different tiers. The levels are different. And then depending on how many deals they do in a week and how much closed volume they do in that week will depend on their tier. So we have to track all of that, right? Which is where Podio will come into play.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And so, as accurate as you can off the top of your head, what does your pay schedule look like for your people? Just take acquisitions first. What are we paying them? Is there any base? Is there any guarantee? Is there any salary? Is it a draw against future commissions? How do you structure it?
So we do not do any base, and we've done it many times. We've tried giving people $3,000 a month base, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month. It has blown up in our face every single time, without fail, right? And I think the reason for that is that salespeople, if they have a fallback, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cody, you've dealt with this obviously more than I have, but anytime I've tried to give people a base, it's almost as if their effort just plummets. I can't figure out what it is. And so we do no base. However, I've got probably 5 to 7 people on my team that'll make over $300,000 or $400,000 in 2024. I had multiple people clear 200 in 2023, or 250 even. I think we had somebody do. We had a guy do 85 wholesale deals on our team. You've seen a couple of the videos, right? So we pay our acquisitions people. It goes 12% is the bottom tier. And then I want to say it's 12, 15, 20. on the AC. And
so
then,
if you're at scale and you're clipping deals left and right and you're a good closer, you can earn up to 20%.
You can earn up to 20%. And we've got guys doing that, right? And imagine, like, so our top guys at any given time will have $100,000 of company profit pending at any given time, right? So you figure at any given time, they would have 20,000 pending in the pipeline. And if you could turn that every 2 weeks, let's just say, then you'd have guys on my team making 30 to 40K a month, no problem.
That's a beautiful thing. And real closers, that's all they want. They don't want a fucking base.
They don't. And the guys that are, just, I mean, unbelievable on my team, and they'll watch us. They know who they are. They don't want to go.
Are you saying your whole team watches the Clever Investor Show?
Hell yeah, we're going to make them. They don't want to be me or you, right? Like these guys, they want to make 30 or 40 grand a month, and then they want to go home at 6 o'clock at night, and they want to hang out with their significant other and drive up to Sedona and not have the stress and the anxiety and the freaking weight of running the whole operation and paying 50 grand a year for investor lift and, $85,000 a month for office rent and the whole package that comes with that. A lot of people don't want that. And I think if you can get salespeople to make 20, 30, 40 grand a month, dude, you can live a hell of a life on that amount of money.
Yeah. No, and you got to quickly self-assess what kind of entrepreneur are you. You could be a killer entrepreneur, plug into your already created system, not have to stress about any of that stuff, especially if you have a great skill like sales, persuasion, and influence.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's on the acquisition sides. You said 12.
I think we're at 12, 15, and 20
12,
right
15,
now.
20.
Yep.
Okay, no base.
No base.
And when somebody new comes in, how long do you let them float before you're like, you got to go?
We are very picky with who we hire nowadays. I would say out of every 20 people we interview, and we interview a lot of people, we probably hire maybe one or two. I mean, we're very, very picky. We pretty much tell people in that interview, you're probably not going to make money for 90 days unless you're already just a freaking rock star. So if you don't have the cushion in your bank account to grind for 90 days and not make a penny, this is not going to be a good fit, right? Like we've learned that, we know that. Now some guys can come to it way quicker, and we have had that many, many times. But we now are at a point where we want to set that expectation, right? Like we've turned over too many people, and it costs a lot of money to train people, right? Like I think maybe people don't realize that, or maybe they do, but and not even of my time anymore, because I'm not so much in the thick of that company right now. But my team, I see my partners and my team and my executives just pour into somebody, and then they freaking leave, and I'm just like, it hurts. You're like, gosh dang, like why did you? And so we try to just weed that out from the very beginning now, right? Like hire the right people.
I love that.
Yeah.
Then what about dispositions?
So they get paid, I believe it's roughly the same. I think it's 2 points higher. So I think it's 14 right now, 18 and like 23 or 25 on that particular side. Yep.
So between 20 to 40% is going to your team members just to facilitate all these deals.
So we average, when you average it all out, because I want this episode to go viral, right? Like nobody's talking about this crap. Our company, now this doesn't include like fixed cost, okay? This doesn't include CRMs. It doesn't include our office,
personnel,
our employees,
overhead.
personnel, right? But if we look at our top line revenue from the wholesale company and then how much we pay in commissions, we run on average a 68% profit margin. Right. And then we obviously have our fixed cost. Right. Now, if the bigger that number gets, the smaller the fixed cost is in relative to that number. Right. So I think right now we run at about a 55% total profit margin in the wholesale company. So 55% net to the partners of the company is where we're running right now.
This is why you have Lamborghinis and all this cool shit.
I don't have a Lambo right now. Yeah, I have a Plaid like you.
Oh yeah, that's right. You sold your Urus.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got.
I have a white Plaid out there, just like yours.
I forgot about that. That's cool. Best car ever.
Love the Plaid.
Yeah, except for I'm super pissed at Elon Musk right now.
How come?
Elon, if you're watching this, you're on my naughty list. Like I can't even believe that you dropped the price of the fucking Plaid right after. Dude, I lock it in.
You paid what, 130?
Oh, easily.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, easily.
And they dropped it to 89.9.
Yeah. I'm just like, you mofo. Like, really? Like right now, I got to deal with this shit. You were my hero, man. Well, greatest car ever.
Greatest car, yeah.
I love. Everybody's like, oh, are you going to get another Lamb? I'm like, fuck, no, not right now. No.
And how do you like the yoke?
I love it.
I love the yoke too.
I love it.
I'm so used
I love
to
it.
the yoke.
Although they did come out with a new feature that's driving me crazy because I used to be able to turn on my auto steer. It would just be like I don't use it like when I'm like turning and all that stuff. I just use it like if I'm just cruising straight down the 101, it's like a long straightaway. I turn it on and every once in a while I'll grab my phone. It tracks your eyeballs now. It tracks your eyeballs.
If you pull your phone, it dings at you.
As soon as you pull your phone, it dings at you. I'm like, oh, that's so good for the kids, but I fucking hate that for me. It literally disconnects my auto steer every time because it's like, you're in timeout. You're not.
So what I did is I put like a car mount, like the windshield mount,
You're
like
gaming
on
the
the
system.
windshield. And if you put your phone in that and then reach for it with your left hand and like you can play with your phone, the camera can't see what you're doing.
See, they got you. We got you, Elon.
We got it.
I right now I'm in a season of my life where it's like I value simplicity. I see the opportunity in the market. We just closed on a couple big banks. We have a couple more huge projects that we're working on that are very, very expensive. We're dumping tons of money into them. Last thing I give two fucks about is a watch or a car or a giant house or anything like that. I'm looking at houses right now. It's great because like I'm kind of back to basics. I went through this divorce and I'm living in this little tiny rental. My entire overhead is 10 grand a month. Which is phenomenal. I pay cash. My new rule is like, I'm like turning into Dave Ramsey. I mean, my new rule is if I can't afford it and to pay cash for it, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Right. And so all my cars recently I've been paying cash for. And I used to never do that. I used to lease everything. And I'm looking for a house right now. So I was on the MLS, like messing around. I want a house in Ahwatukee, like backing the mountain, kind of private. And I don't want to spend more than $1.5 million. I really like my last house was $5 million. You know, I don't want anything to do with that. I want $1 million, $1.5 million house, clean, and I want to buy it on seller finance.
Yeah.
That's it. So I've been just hunting the MLS and it's great. You guys, Pace Morby, all you educators out there that have come up recently, you all have taught the world and all the agents what creative finance is and how to take a creative offer. So I call and the guy like right away is like, the Pace Morby method.
Yeah.
This is great. Yeah. I've been waiting for somebody to call and talk. My seller's perfect for this. And this particular situation, the guy only owes $150,000 on a 2.75% interest rate.
Oh my gosh.
And he wants 1.2 million for the house.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, I'll give you all 1.2 million for the house. I'll give you the price. I won't ask for any discount. I'll give you 400 grand in cash. You pay off the $100 and whatever $1,000 loan at 2 point whatever percent, but the remaining balance, he carries it for me for 7 years at the 2.75%. And the guy's like, I think my guy's going to take that. So I'm going to get a killer.
If that guy takes that, that'll be the best freaking deal in the world.
It'll be great for me because I don't have to fill out a mountain of paperwork. I don't have to, stress about going to the bank and, selling a company recently. That's a new challenge with getting financing. And then I just started a brand new company called Floor Daddy.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Floor Daddy.
Floor Daddy. What do you do?
Flooring.
Okay.
We're making flooring sexy.
Dang.
Yeah. Sexy floors, affordable prices,
but I mean, are you manufacturing the flooring or are you doing the whole package?
No. We're just, look, I have a skill. Yeah. Right? My skill, I developed a skill selling $100 million worth of online education. It's run an ad, buy cold traffic, get eyeballs to a funnel that's super dope, that converts people into a book a call, into an in-home appointment, into a high ticket close. And look at the environment we're operating in right now. People aren't moving and their wives are looking at their husband and saying, we can't find a place. We can't afford a place. Upgrade my kitchen, upgrade my thing. And what I've always loved the home services business, but now we started the business and it's fun. I get to be a startup again, which is really exciting. Cool. I got the accounting set up, got all the bank accounts set up. We're setting up with relationships with all the vendors, and I'm a snake. I'm fucking aggressive. I'm already stealing people from other flooring companies. Like I'm on LinkedIn, just like hunting down like all the executives for all the big flooring companies in town. And I got so much money. I'm just like, come join your boy.
Sure.
Cody Sperber's going to take care of you. We're going to ride this thing to the promised land.
Floor Daddy's a great name.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the home of GoDaddy. Yeah. This is where Mr. Bob Parsons created the whole GoDaddy concept. And we were sitting there thinking, and we were like, we had all these names. We went to Chat GPT and put in like creative flooring names. And it was like all these flooring names. And we're like, yeah, they're good. And then we're sitting there at lunch and we're getting drunk. And my buddy John, who's a partner of mine, he's like, I go to GoDaddy and see if any of these are available. And he goes, we should just call it Floor Daddy. And as soon as he said it, I looked at him, I'm like, sexy floors.
Yeah.
Like I can envision me leaving as a joke a calendar with sexy installers like Miguel, just like a big heavyset Mexican guy with like a hard hat holding a plank of wood, and that's like the January model,
It's so cool.
And so we're kind of running with it. But I love this business because I had a friend scale his business doing $3 million a month, sold it for $214 million.
Insane. Yeah, we just I'm good buddies with Rooter Ranger, the owners of Rooter Ranger, Jordan and Brittany Beebe. We sold like $30 million worth of real estate to them in PV, right? And for a long time, I'm like, what the hell do these people do? They sold a plumbing company that they built 3.5 years. They built it they started it in like 2019 and they sold in 2023-ish. Don't quote me on that, Jordan. He's a good buddy of mine. But dude, like they absolutely murdered it, right? Now they're buying dog poop cleaning companies. They're just buying like 4 or 5 subscription-based dog poop cleaning companies and then just merging all of the accounts together and then rebranding it, and then they'll just go eventually sell to private equity.
See, and what's great, I want to meet them. I want to start a podcast all about the home services business. I think this industry is really it's kind of future proof. There's not going to be a lot of disruption. Everybody's going to need plumbing. Everybody's going to need new roofs and AC and all that stuff. And it's a very boring business. Young creative entrepreneurs can come and disrupt this industry very easily with creative marketing. That's where I'm going to come in. And I think it's a very sellable business. You can scale it and sell it very quickly. And once I sold one company and I got, 8 figures for it, I was like, I'm in the wrong game. I'm over here. I'm at a point in my life where I just want to own real estate and do big deals and then scale and sell businesses.
And enjoy and have fun.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And every business I start is with my best friends, right? So every time I start a business, I just grab up all my best friends and I'm like, let's do this thing together. So I'm always hanging out with my best friends and we always have a mission behind it, right? And my mission this year, I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, Austin, and maybe you can help out. I want to cut $1 million check to save animals.
It's super cool.
There's a fund called a trust called the Sheldrick Trust. Sheldrick, yeah. And all they do is focus on elephant conservation, and I want to give them $1 million this year. I don't know how I'm going to do it because I don't have an extra $1 million that I could just like give away, but I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it by building in. I think Floor Daddy is a for-purpose business. So every time we do an install, a portion of profits is going to go over into a bucket.
That'd be really
and we're
cool.
going to donate to elephant conservation. I did it with Green Elephant Development. I'm going to do it with Floor Daddy as well.
You could totally pull that off. Yeah. Why are you passionate about about that particular cause? Obviously, there's so many.
Because humans are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I like animals more than I like 99% of people. And I look around and I'm like, it's our obligation to leave this world a little bit better place. And I don't believe in global warming and all that stuff. I think it is too politicized. I don't understand it enough. But I do know that we have, as a species, used and abused this planet. And we're going to continue to do that. And it's not going to slow down. It's just going to continue to get worse. So I was watching an old Steve Irwin clip. I don't know if you've seen it, where he was talking about, I want all the money. Give me all your money. I'm going to buy up all the land and help the animals. And it was the first time I really thought, like, God, that guy's crazy. What a wonderful human being. And then I went, nobody thinks that of me.
Yeah.
Nobody is looking at Cody, the clever investor, with his Chase Bank behind him in a Lambo and a check going, I could teach you how to flip a house. I might help you make money, but that's not the legacy. Right. And so I was really pondering, like, what's the legacy? And the legacy needs to be something way bigger than me.
Yeah, I just had Tim Sykes on my podcast. Are you familiar with him? He's like the penny stock trader.
We're good friends.
Yeah, he's a good buddy. I've known him forever. And have you had him on yours?
I had to leave.
Okay,
he was supposed to be here.
Probably when he was doing mine, he was supposed to come on yours.
He was.
He had to drive right to Tucson though. Anyways, he talks about like elephant conservation and all of that. He's traveled all over the world. I think he's been like 130 countries, like some stupid number, right? And there's quite a bit of my podcast with him recently where we talked about animal
Bro, he's a great example of an entrepreneur making a difference. And it's funny because people can hate on him, right? He sells education very aggressively. I've been through his funnels. We've done a lot of business together. on the other end of that, my girlfriend, Maria, trades penny stocks using his exact system. She makes between $400 to $1,000 every day of the week in her PJs from her computer at 7:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m. every morning when the stock market opens. She does her little penny trades. She makes her quick $500, $600. She's out of the trade. She wins way more than she loses. And she loves Tim Sykes.
Yeah.
And also Ricky.
Yep.
Loves Ricky.
Ricky's awesome.
And so I know their stuff can work. But what I respect more about them than all of their success on the business side of things is just the impact that they're making. So
Tim's making a big impact.
How do I
really
do that?
cool.
How do you do that?
Well, I think you said it best, right? You've got to figure out a way to incorporate it and integrate it into what you're building, right? Into your businesses. Like Tony Robbins. You look at how does Tony Robbins feed? What did he feed? 1 billion people? Did he accomplish it yet?
I think so.
Okay, I think he did too. Yeah, it was like 1 billion people, right? Which is like, how do you do that, right? And similarly, I think he integrated it into, it's got to be a part of everything that you do, right? So like you said, if you install flooring, okay, then 5% of that or 10% or whatever the number is, like it just automatically and by the way, that's marketing too. You anybody who believes in what you believe in that particular cause, which is going to be the vast majority of people, right? They're going to want to go with you over somebody else because you donate a portion back to charity or whatever cause.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So let's talk your current life, dude.
Yeah.
What you're doing well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the play?
So
you're going to keep doing this for the next 10 years, get embarrassingly wealthy, and I'm never going to hear from you again?
You'll definitely hear from me. We'll be hanging out more. I think similar to you, right? I eventually want to start a sellable company,
Could you sell your company?
So we just did a merger with my retail team. And we were doing about 150 million a year in production. But I built that retail team. I was the sole owner of that. And we merged with another big team in the Valley, who's a good buddy of mine. Now we're truly one company now, one bank account, one everything, right? So we did a true full-blown merger, combined all of our systems,
And what's the name of that retail company?
Right now it's KPZ, which is, theirs was KP Elite, mine was Zaback Group, so we just did KPZ. However, we're doing a name change in about 4 or 5 months. And it's kind of complicated, but one of our big goals is we're gonna be the first ever national team. So we're going to take the team national, and we're going to basically do a big roll-up merger with other big teams throughout the nation, and just give them their piece of whatever the total equity would be in the bigger pot. But at day one, you cut a ton of expense. Team leaders hate their life, right? If anybody's watching this right now, every real estate traditional retail team leader absolutely hates their life, and they're stuck, right?
Why is that?
It's just not a profitable business when you do it small. Like the only way to be profitable is doing it really big.
So if I have 20 agents underneath me, I'm like, is that a small team? 10, 20 agents?
Yeah, 10, 20 is fairly small. You can make money around that mark.
So I'm babysitting a bunch of people is what you're saying.
Full-time
It drives me
babysitter.
crazy.
You hate your life. Constant turnover.
And not enough money to make it worth it.
To make it worth it, right? No freedom.
At what point does your team get big enough where it does become worth it?
It really never does. The only way that it becomes worth it is if you can build the ancillary pieces of the company. So the home services, the mortgage, title, insurance, all of the different revenue streams have to be integrated, right? So like I'm good buddies with the owner of Green Mango. So this would be a good example. Green Mango, coconut cleaning, right? We will then go and we will start to actually partner with other big home service company. Because remember, real estate's the hub. If we sell somebody a house and our agent sells them a house, they need insurance, they need a roofer, they need a lender before they even get the house. They need the mortgage, right? And they need a title company to do the deal with. They need a pest control company because there's termites, landscaper, a pool guy, right? And so the idea is if we're the biggest out there, right, and we control the narrative because remember we're the team, we feed them all the leads. So like with Zillow, right now we're number 2 technically in Arizona. I think we'll be number 1 soon, but we're number 2 team on Zillow. And so, we get 1,000 connections a year from Zillow, right? Well, the idea is then agents join our team to get our leads, but in exchange for that, you have to use who we tell you to use. right? Like we're going to, if you want to get the best of the best of the best leads in the game, then if I tell you, hey, this is our preferred pest control company, then that's who you're going to refer when your client asks you who we use. Right. And so then you create all of these other streams of revenue, the ancillary streams of revenue, and then you become highly profitable. But you can only do that if you're extremely big, because nobody gives a damn unless you do $1 billion a year in production. Right. So then the idea is, how do you take that and do a roll up merger nationwide? Maybe potentially take the team public one day. We'll see. But
who do you hang your license with?
We just moved. We're with LPT now. Yeah. So we just moved from EXP to LPT.
Is LPT the same concept? Is LPT
pretty similar,
like a network marketing style brokerage?
So we moved for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons was they have two options. So EXP just had revenue share. Okay. So the problem that EXP faced, and I love the brokerage, by the way, EXP was a great brokerage. I have nothing bad to say about them. However, LPT is the first ever hybrid model. So if you're an agent, you want to join a brokerage, because before it was like, an agent would be like, I want to go to EXP and build my revenue share business, or I'm going to go to HomeSmart and pay $50 a file. Like it was like, you had two kind of ends of the spectrum
Old
here.
school and new school.
And LPT is a hybrid. They're true hybrids. So you come in, you say, I either want to build the revenue share or I want the flat fee. And you get to choose. And at any time you can change. And so, unfortunately, I don't think a company like EXP or even Real or any of these other brokerages, and as much as I like them, I don't think they'll ever be able to change the way that they structured it, because now they're publicly traded. They have shareholders. All their guys making all the revenue at the top the revenue share would get cut in half.
Now, what does LPT stand for?
Listing Power Tools.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, they're a company based out of Florida. Robert Palmer. Do you know Robert Palmer? You've seen Robert Palmer. He's like the big lending guy. You've probably seen him on commercials back in the day.
Yeah, I'd have to see him again.
He's a big mortgage. He built like a $1 billion mortgage company way back in the day. He's somebody that we should, I've been studying him. He's a phenomenal marketer, but he was like the TV. He's like the Dean Graziosi of like mortgage, Anyways.
Okay. Yeah.
But he started LPT. Yeah. So he was already a billionaire. He's already taken companies publicly traded before. He started.
So this is already publicly traded.
No, they're going to go IPO 2025. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're pre-IPO right now. Yeah. So they start 18 months old. The brokerage is 18 months old at the time of obviously today, and they have just under 10,000 agents in 18 months. They're actually
so you're in early.
We're in very early.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you and how many agents do you have right now?
About 140, and then staff makes us about 150.
Got it. So now you guys rolled over to them. And then you're going to continue to grow that. And then eventually you're going to how are you going to strategically find partners to scale nationwide and do these roll-ups?
Solve the biggest people in every state. So like we're the number one team in the state of Arizona. So we just want to do the roll-up merger with the number one team in North Carolina and the number one team in Texas and the number one team in Florida, right? Because if everybody...
But is that only in your brokerage?
No, they'd have to all come to LPT. Yeah, that would be part of the deal, right? We would have to be at one brokerage, in order to truly do it the right way. Because the idea, like when we initially did the merger with KP Elite, part of it was, okay, I pay for this CRM, you pay for the CRM. I have a transaction coordination department, you have a transaction coordination department, right? Like there's all these costs in the retail world.
You want to eliminate the redundancies.
So day one, you have zero. It's like, hey, we're just one CRM, like one TC department, one everything, right? So you cut your costs in, 70% off or whatever. And then you just give everybody who rolls up with you the percentage of whatever they bring to the total pot. So like, I might only have 20%, but we might do 10 billion a year in production, or I might have 10%. Like if you rolled up with 10 other people, I might have 10% of 10 billion a year. We might have 5,000 agents, and then we take that public, and then maybe we who knows what we do after that. Maybe you're just a money printing machine. It doesn't matter. You don't care about selling. Or maybe you get acquired. I'm not sure. We haven't quite thought that far.
I think this is a great plan, bro. This is a really great plan. Look, I know for me, and this was the thing, and I want to talk personal about our journey real quick, because I think just to make sure if they didn't watch the podcast I did with you, which by the way, Austin's got a great podcast. Is it just the Austin Zaback Show?
Yeah.
Austin Zaback Show. You can find it on all the streaming platforms. Austin and I have quite a history together. And one of my biggest challenges is when he was young, he was so fucking talented. You had all the potential ingredients. You went out and proved that you could do it. You scaled to 6 figures. And then like lots of young people, you got all crazy distracted.
Yep.
You listened to a lot of people. You had all these crazy ambitions and all these bright ideas, and you were in the ATM business, and you were in the marketing business, and you're in the real estate business, and the wholesaling business, and the retail business, and you had all these balls in the air.
Yeah.
And I just kept asking you, like, who are you, bro? Like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want to be the cheese dick influencer on social media posing in front of your Range Rover, or do you want to be a real businessman printing money? And that's why you're on my show right now, is because you've transitioned to being like a legit entrepreneur. But there for a while, you were, I don't know, maybe you could say it in your words.
Yeah.
Like, were you lost? Were you just all over the place?
Shiny object syndrome. You talk about it. I learned it from you, you know, and the amount of people that I see today that did what I did, I tell people now, just like you told me, right? And they don't listen. But it's like, dude, just focus on one thing. Like, you can't do two things until maybe one day you can hire somebody to catch the other rabbit, right? It's like, you can't catch both of the rabbits. So you have to hire somebody to catch the other one, but you can't do that until you have a decade or so under your belt. I mean, you have to have all the systems and processes and people and team. And we have a huge staff, you know, like I could be here with you all day and we'd do 5, 10, 15 deals, you know, but yeah, it was a huge mistake. Doing the ATMs was a huge mistake. And I shouldn't say mistake, because I learned a lot, and I don't know, obviously we don't, you know, like everything you've been through, right? Like who's to say
we've all
that,
done it.
Right, we've all
not,
done it.
Maybe not a mistake. It's just, it wasn't the right choice.
Total setback.
For what you were trying to accomplish.
1,000,000%. Yeah. You waste a lot of time. You know, that's really what it boils down to. You know, I wasted at least 3 or 4 years of my life screwing around and half-assing multiple different things, as opposed to doing really well at one thing, you know? And it dawned on me, dude. I mean, it was maybe just 2 or 3 years ago, give or take, when Austin Lewis, right, the other Austin, I remember one day we got on the phone. I said, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with any of it. I said, keep all the ATMs, keep the keep everything. And I don't want to do the marketing. I don't want to do the exotic car rental crap anymore. I don't want to do the ATM crap. I love you as a person. You're great. Like, we can still be friends, but I'm done. And I'm going to go do real estate, because that is what I know. If I focus on real estate for 2 or 3 or 4 years, I was like, I know I can dominate it, you know? And I was like, I'm not going to do anything other than that, right? And I did that, you know, and I put my head down, and I didn't touch nothing, dude. If it didn't vertically integrate into my real estate companies, like if it was anything that had nothing to do with that, I was like, I'm out, you know? And to this day, really, if you think about all the things that I do, not a damn thing that I do doesn't vertically integrate to real estate. Remember, retail and wholesale integrate perfectly. We pass deals to each company all day long. A retail agent goes on a listing appointment, they want a cash offer, it gets kicked. We built all that, right? Yeah. Same with the mortgage, the title. We don't do anything. Like, I don't know an ATM. I'm not dabbling in anything else.
Well, you verticalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. You asked yourself a very savvy question. Who's making money off my transactions? And I'm going to go own all of those pieces.
Yeah.
And I think that's really smart, because that's what makes you sellable. And look, the worst part about what you were doing wasn't that you got distracted in shiny object syndrome and all that stuff. It's that you thought that that's what a young influencer on social media looked like.
Yeah.
And that was the cringy part of it all, was like, come on, bro. You're falling right into this trap that all these young kids think that this is what the world looks like. And this is how we operate. We have 50 side hustles and all this shit. And the reality is, that's not what real bosses do. We don't do it. We starve the ponies and we feed the stallions. And we find that winning racehorse. We put those blinders on, and that's all we do.
Yep.
And once it clicked and you made that call, which I'm very proud of you, because it's hard to make the call to cut things that I get a little trickle here and a little trickle there. I'm not saying don't have a side hustle. 44% of Americans have a side hustle that bring in like $450 to $500 a month. And I think if you're just a normal guy or girl that just is a W-2 person and you're never going to be an entrepreneur, okay, no problem. That's your personality type. Stick with that. Go get yourself a little side hustle. Make your extra $500 and pay your gas and cell phone bill. I'm all about that. But if you're a guy built like you, that ain't you. You're not a side hustle guy. You're like, let's go dominate and become a king.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to watch you doing that.
I appreciate
right
that,
now.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
why do people, I have a question for you, right? Like, why do you think the world does that? I mean, I still know people to this day where they're freaking Shopify, Amazon, FBA, right? Like, and I just know, dude, I know that world, and you know, right? That it's all BS. And I know they're freaking neck deep and they can't afford their lifestyle. Like, why did they do that? And I mean, I obviously did, but like,
well, I think a couple things are kind of like converging into one moment in history. One, social media is it could be used to really infect you the wrong way. You believe that that's what people out there are doing, and that's what makes you successful, and you get to travel the world and live life on your own terms. And being an entrepreneur is very, very hard. It is one of the most difficult things. Like, I wouldn't wish the pain on my enemies. It's so difficult, and it's a never-ending difficult. You're always in the pressure cooker. Your back's always against the wall. Every new level has a new devil. It's always like that, but we're built for it. So we don't look at it like a problem. We look at it like we get to do this. We get to do these opportunities. We get to take on these problems. I get to solve this challenge. It's just we're built for it. So we shift our mindset to a very optimistic mindset. Like, when I figure this out, I'm going to get paid all this crazy money because I'm taking on this challenge. But I think social media is converging with kids nowadays not wanting to go to college and trying to figure out like how to make an impact in the world on their own terms using technology or from home. And then they see these examples of guys. This is why the cringy part of it. And the thing I hated most about what you were doing is it was the wrong message for other kids watching. Because you're cool. I'm not fucking cool. I'm 45 years old. At the time I was going bald, I got a crooked smile, all the things to make me not cool anymore. I wore glasses. I got a family. I'm on the other end of it. But you were young and hip and cool, and you dressed amazing, and you had everything going for you, and they were listening to you. And that's what bothered me, is like, man, you don't even know how many people you're impacting right now in the wrong way. And now your voice is so clean and good. Like, your impact, you're making up for it, Austin. You're making up for some of the bullshit. But,
well,
it got so bad.
Back down that
it got so bad between us that our friendship was done.
Yeah.
And you were done at the business. We dissolved the partnership. I actually sold you my Lamborghini. We had a problem with the car sale. I went online. I publicly filleted you.
Yeah.
You fought back, and, we were just kind of doing tit for tat on social media, and we didn't talk for what? 2 years?
Probably 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
But I always said there'll be a day that Austin comes back around and realizes what he did. And I'm also very proud of you for making the call to say, I apologize, shouldn't have done that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Any grown man who makes any error in life, whether it be their significant other, business partner, if you wrong somebody, right, you should make it right 100% of the time, or try to make it right. Obviously, sometimes it won't be reciprocated, but I think that I don't want enemies, and it took me a couple of years. I'm like, man, I remember waking up one day and I'm like, I don't really have any enemies. I'm like, Cody is the only guy that I feel like if I was in a room right now with, I wouldn't be comfortable. And I was like, I don't like that. I was like, I don't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
And so that was the day.
I made you uncomfortable.
That was the day where I just called you and I said, dude, we got to make it right. I'll bring you a check. What do we got to do? I want to repair our relationship. It's going to take some time, but I want to get back to where, or somewhere, it may be a different place, but like, I want to have that relationship with Cody again. And so it's been really cool. And it's been really cool to watch you grow too, and obviously you've always been older and wiser than me and more, and obviously for all the reasons, right? But your evolution's been wild too, right? Like to see, even the Cody that I knew 5 or 6 years ago compared to the Cody that is sitting in front of me today.
Don't turn this around on me, Austin. This is your psychology session. This has nothing to do with me.
But you even gave me some advice the last time we were talking about the thing that you went to, where you did the inner work, like the inner child stuff.
Psychological counseling services.
And then I went and did the Hoffman process, which is a very similar thing to that.
That's fantastic.
And I did that actually 3 or 4 months ago, 7 days, no phone, no nothing, right? Off the grid.
What was the outcome of that?
Insane. You learn like, why are you the way you are? Like from childhood, like, and it's all about your parents and your upbringing, your surrogates, if you had them. And you just go deep into like, and you find forgiveness too, right? So like, and even if you think you've already forgiven, I think that was one of the things for me was like, okay, I thought I'd already forgiven my parents, but then you come out of the other end of it, you're like, no, I was still kind of holding some grudge. I wasn't aware of it, right? Like, and that was causing problems, and then therefore that bled over here into this area of my life, and then I acted a certain way. And so like, I think everybody should figure out how to understand like who they are and why they are who they are. And I think and even me, I still have growth to do. You still have growth. We all have growth to do, but start on the journey. And I started on that journey of like, why am I the way I am? Like, other than.
So what was the process? First off, what did it cost for that, a week-long period?
Yeah. The Hoffman process is $6,500 or $6,000, something like that.
Okay. And are you doing that here in Arizona? Are you going somewhere?
No, yeah, they don't have one here. They California. Yep.
Okay, so you go to California,
Northern California.
go through this week-long process, and what are they doing?
The wild process. They really don't want you to talk much about it. So Bob Hoffman created it 100 years ago. Bob Hoffman has passed away, obviously. His legend continues, or legacy. You go there, you're in Northern California, you give them your phone, you give them everything. You're no drugs, no alcohol. You sleep there. You're on site. So you're not like staying in a hotel and then driving to the process every day, right? Like they have all the arrangements for you to be there. They prep all of your food. You have to eat a particular diet. Like you can't eat junk food. Like you don't eat hamburgers and like canes, right? Like you eat healthy, 3 meals a day, no alcohol, no drugs, no phone, no connection to the outside world, no laptop, no nothing, right? You have zero idea what's going on. And then you're about 12 hours a day, maybe 14 in a classroom. For 7 days straight. And every day is different. Every day is a new thing that
like an experience they put you through.
Exactly. Yeah. And you do a lot of crazy crap. The reason they don't want you to talk about it is because if people didn't know the context and I were to say some of the crap you do, it would discourage people from going because they wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I just wanted to kind of understand just the gist
wild stuff.
What is the outcome? How do they get you there? Is it talk therapy? Is it experiential things?
It's all experiential. About 40 people max. So I think 30 to 40 is the number that they do. They do it every week. They do 52 of them a year. I think maybe 50 of them a year. There's like 2 weeks out of the year they don't do it. And all experiential, crazy stuff, dude. Like I did Joe Dispenza after you and me had chatted. I did the advanced retreat with him, which was like the meditation retreat, right? And then I've done Landmark Forum way back in the day. And Hoffman was on another level. Like I'm just for anybody who is.
So you would recommend it to somebody?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And the outcome is you feel like you reprogrammed your inner child, your psychology, your subconscious programming? Is this a healing thing? Is this a clarity thing?
All of the above, I think. Yeah. I think it would be different for everybody depending on what they're going through in their current season of life. But, for me, a lot of it was just total clarity, right? Like total clarity, total forgiveness too. I think everybody to some degree that I've ever met has some sort of childhood trauma, right? Like just period. It might look different for everybody. Some people it might be worse than other people. But everybody, I think to some degree, they've had trauma in their life, right? And a lot of times, then we hold people to certain standards or we think like poor me or victim mentality or whatever. And I think you go through some of this and you start to realize, like, I'll give you an example. One of the experiments in Hoffman is you really go on this journey and you live in your parents' shoes as a baby. So you try that on, right? It's like, I'm going to be my dad when he was 1. And I'm going to be him. What was it like to grow up as my dad? Like, who raised him? What was his childhood like? Like, did he have a choice? Like, but you get to get in the driver's seat of like, what was it like to be my dad, right? And like, how come he ended up the way that he is? And you really get to go through that journey of that, right? And then you do the same thing for your mom. And so that's like one of 50 different experiments that you do. And that might be a 5-hour long experience that you literally are guided through this entire thing. It's pretty crazy, but, and then that gives you clarity, right? You're like, dang, my dad was he was just like an innocent baby, like every other innocent baby that was ever born. Like nobody's just pops out of the womb and is inherently bad, right? Like, if you objectively, everybody, the day that they come out of the womb is inherently good, right? They're pure, they're good. The world hasn't gotten to them yet. Nothing's happened. Then life happens to them. Things show up, things that they have to go through and deal with, and then they end up becoming who they are, right? And then when you go through that in the driver's seat of somebody else, you start to realize how maybe out of control they were. Like they maybe didn't even have a choice in a lot of the matters of how they became who they became. And you start to have more
like empathy
for people, and even just people on the street. You start to then when you start going through some of this, you go to a coffee shop or you go walk somewhere and somebody says something to you or and you start to view them a little differently. Like,
behind every face is a story unfolding.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Well, that's cool, man. I like stuff like that. I have a hard time with slowing down, shutting things off, going deep. My personality is the exact opposite. I can't even float in a float tank. I go fucking crazy. I go crazy.
I did it one time.
Yeah. I got it as a gift card, and it had like 5 float sessions. I did one, and I was like, I'm never going back.
Yep. And I'm the same way, but I just told myself, I said, I got to do it.
Yeah, it's good for you.
And it was actually good that I gave them my phone. I think, like, for me, it has to be all or nothing. Like, you don't give me my phone for an hour. Like, either completely take it from me and I just will force myself to forget about everything, right?
Yeah.
And trust. And obviously you and me both have incredible partners and we have great teams of people, right? So I really was okay because everybody knew I was going, right? And I'm like, guys, you got it. Like, make all the decisions. Like, don't lose money while I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
sometimes they make more money.
They did. They made a lot of money while I was gone. Yeah, for sure.
Well, did you come back a better leader for them?
I did. Yeah. And
is he a better partner? Really? Could you tell a difference? I'm talking to his significant other right now. Yeah, I want to know because I think that's the outcome is what's the most important, right? You're going to go through that experience. Well, man, all good stuff. How do people find you on social media?
Yeah, at Austin Zaback on every platform, or the Austin Zaback Show if you want to listen to my pod. And then we did an interview too. So
yeah, go check out that one. If
somebody hasn't listened to that one yet, I interviewed Cody.
That was a deep one.
That was a really deep one.
I bared my soul.
We should do it again eventually.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, let me get my Floor Daddy business a little bit further along and my new CodySperber.com brand up and going. I just built the website. Yeah. I'm about to launch it here today or tomorrow.
Maybe the end of the year.
Dude, that would be super dope.
That'd be dope.
I could be able to tell you tell you whether or not I donated $1 million.
That'd be really cool.
I mean, I'm putting it out there publicly. It's scaring the shit out of me because I have no plan.
Yeah.
My plan is I got to create the plan.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to build the plane.
Every entrepreneur.
I'm jumping out of the plane and going to build this plane on the way down.
I love it. And you'll accomplish it. I know you will.
Parachute on the way down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, dude, thank you for coming here. If you're a local real estate agent, you want to jump ship here in Arizona over to a dope team, where do they go?
They can just go to joinkpz.com.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm hooking you up right now.
Yeah. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah.
And don't bring Austin any of your fucking wholesale deals. You bring them all to me. Send us the deals.com. Screw him. Bring me your deals.
But if he can't sell them, then bring them to me.
When I fail miserably, I'm going to, don't worry, I'll send them to Austin.
I love it.
Actually, you're just going to send them to me and I'm just going to send them to Austin immediately.
Right.
So
we'll get Cody 5 or 10 clip off of it too. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. It's been an awesome episode.
Yeah.
If you got value from this, share this with another real estate agent or investor so that way they can be turned on to this amazing conversation. Until next time, we're out of here. Take care. Comb your hair. Peace.